Hey guys, it's Kelly, and today we are talking about Jesse's movie, Don't Dream About Me. I watched it, just finished watching it. It was amazing. I actually tweeted Jesse when I finished the movie, saying like how great the movie was and how much I liked it. I just feel like I needed to, and I wanted to let him know like the movie was great. I actually had to watch it on Apple Pay because for some reason when I searched up on Amazon Prime, it wasn't popping up. So I don't know, like maybe I didn't get on Amazon until later in the day. I don't know. It's like 8 o'clock now. You know, almost 8:30, as you guys can see at 9. I'm doing my hand like that's gonna help. Right there, there we go. But I do want to give a warning. If you don't want to hear anything about the movie or anything that happens in the movie, I recommend not watching this video then, because I'm going to be talking about the movie. So I just want to say it was a 10 out of 10. Amazing movie, very well done. You know, when I first heard like the title of the movie, you know, when he first released the title, I thought the movie was going to be like a story of like this guy who has dreams about the future, and or like people in his life in the future, and he like tells them and it comes true and stuff like that, if that makes sense. And then, you know, once I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it's more of a documentary type movie. Okay, it's going to be cool. I like documentaries. And it was amazing. You know, again, it was 2 hours and 16 minutes, and you know, it's a $4.99 rental fee, but it's totally worth it, guys. I'm telling you. Watch the movie if you haven't. Tell your friends and family to watch it. It's an amazing movie. Show Jesse some support. Because, again, Jesse and all the cast and crew members who made this film the amazing film it turned out to be. You all did fantastic. You know, amazing job to all of you. Especially you, Jesse. I'm, you know, just thinking to myself too after watching movies, like I have newfound respect for Jesse now. Like I always respected Jesse as like a content creator and a storyteller, but I feel like I have so much more respect for him now because he just did something so amazing. Like I knew he had it in him to make a great movie, but like to actually see it, it's mind blowing. You know, so congrats, Jesse. You did fantastic with this movie. I can't wait to see the stuff you do in the future. Anyways, so the movie starts off with Jesse. He's, you know, wakes up from a dream and he runs to his computer downstairs because he dreamt the market crashed, the stock market or whatever, and I guess it did, and he was freaking out, you know. And then it cuts to him like sitting down doing an interview in the chair, and he talked about how he sees this man in his dreams since he was 15 that like tells him what's going to happen in these things, and then he's a shapeshifter and stuff. And speaking of that, I do want to say, I remember hearing, maybe you guys are familiar with it, that there was like this man that a bunch of people were seeing his dreams, and I'll pop the picture up like right here. And apparently like all these people see the same man in their dreams. I don't know details. I don't think he's like bad or anything, but I did know, I was thinking about that. I was like, the dude that plays like the dream guy in the movie, you know, the guy that Jesse sees in his dreams in the movie, he does kind of look eerily similar to the man that everyone sees in their dreams in real life. So I don't know, I mean, we don't know what the man actually looks like that Jesse sees. We just know like the actor who plays him, the representation of him. So I am curious to know what the actual man looks like, because he does, like I said, you have to agree, he looks similar to that man that people see in their dreams. So I don't know, I just want to put that out there. Also too, the man, the actor who plays the man in the movie, great job. You nailed it. Like he was really good with that. I mean, I know it doesn't seem like much, and he didn't like really have any lines or anything, but he still did good, like the facial expressions and stuff. And Jesse even said like the man feels evil in his dreams too. You know, like, yeah. So I mean, that's kind of disheartening and creepy. No, I mean, like having dreams like that when you having dreams someone dies, like an accident happens, like it is scary. You know what I mean? And that's like throughout the movie too. You see like Jesse saying that like it freaks him out. Like you see him get emotional a lot throughout the movie, and it's heartbreaking to see that, you know. But yeah, the first time Jesse saw the man, he was 15, and he had a dream that his barber, Joe Barca, was going to have a heart attack. But it was Joe's dad that had the heart attack, but he didn't die, which find out later on in the movie. But also too, Thomas in the movie, when he first showed a flashback of Jesse as a kid, it was like Thomas played one of his friends in high school. It was kind of funny. You know, there's other little Easter eggs too throughout the movie we'll get into. And I will say too, the actor that played young Jeffrey was on point. Like he looks so much like Jeffrey in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if you think he looks so much like Jesse. So I think they did a good job of casting. Even the one who played young Jesse too, I thought was pretty spot on too. You know, it's on point, especially the hairdo. So did good with that. I like too they showed like old home movie footage from like Jesse's childhood when Jesse was a baby and like a little kid and stuff. So I thought that was cool because I feel like it kind of helped us to more connect to Jesse, you know, and also showed footage from like, you know, Psycho series and stuff, and like, you know, from MVE and like his old YouTube videos. I just thought that was cool to include that stuff because that is part of Jesse. And like this movie was kind of to do with Jesse. It's like basically the movie was Jesse, you know, adventure, or Jesse. How do I say this? Like pretty much Jesse trying to find answers. You know, that's what the movie was. Why like he has these premonitions and stuff and visions. So start to a second dream we have that 2 years prior he dreamt that he was gonna about Eagle's Landing. The 2 years prior before he did Eagle's Landing, he dreamt that he was gonna end up like in a tent and stuff. And the thing is too, Eagle's Landing wasn't even his idea, it was someone else's idea that they suggested that. So like that was weird, and he was bringing it up to Jeffrey, but Jeffrey was being a skeptical about it, like he doesn't believe it that Jesse can see the future, which to each their own. I get it is kind of like a crazy concept. I personally believe that people can, because like I talked about in my review video about, you know, the not review video, reaction video of the trailer, and I was saying like, you know, my uncle who died in 2020, I remember like a year before that I had a dream that he did that. I can't remember how he died in a dream, but so could that have been the future? I don't know, because Jesse's had some dreams and then years later they come true. So I mean, just because you have a dream doesn't mean it's gonna happen right away. It can happen years down the line, months, whatever. But so I mean, I feel like we kind of all had dreams like that. Or at least lots of people probably have had dreams like that just they don't remember, or like they don't think about it much, you know. Because a lot of times too, like you can have a dream about something and it happens in real life, but it doesn't happen the exact same way it happens in the dream. So that's another reason you might not like think about it. But I don't know, guys, have you ever had like a dream that came true? Let me know. You know, and I also like too throughout the film you can see the guy in the suit, which is the guy that Jesse sees in his dreams. Like you can see him in the backgrounds in different shots and stuff, which I think is like a cool little Easter egg or whatever you want to call it, you know, to add in there. But I don't know. And then like the Rule 19 series he did, I personally never watched it, but it was like about a virus that affected the clones. And then we ended up having COVID-19. Now, Rule 19 was made, I think, in 2011 or 2012, something like that. And then COVID-19 happened in 2020. So think about it, Rule 19, COVID-19. Could it be a coincidence? Maybe, but it's still weird. You know what I mean? That's the thing, too, you guys have to understand. Like, if it was, like, 1 or 2 dreams, I feel like you could kind of chalk that up to, like, a coincidence, right? But this is happening to Jesse multiple times since he was 15, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just 2, like, you know, one-off dream or, like, 2 dreams. You can be like, okay, yeah, it's weird, but it could be a coincidence. Like, this was, I don't know. Did another thing, too. Those of you who watch MVE, Uncle Chris died from his boss in MVE. If you remember, Jeffrey in MVE played Uncle Chris, like, the VR version of Uncle Chris, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of hard to explain, so stick with me. If you guys have watched MV, you know, there's like the VR in MV, right? Like Eve, it was called, like he would put the helmet on and he would be in the game. So the game character of Uncle Chris was Jeffrey, played by Jeffrey. And in the game universe, he was killed. So like with MV, you die, if you die in the game, you die in real life. So he was being stabbed, Uncle Chris, you know, in MVE, and that's how he was dying. In the MVE game, in the Eve game, and he was stabbed and pushed against a red oak tree. And by his boss. He was stabbed and killed by his boss in Eve. I know, it sounds confusing, guys. If you watch MVE, you guys understand what I'm talking about. And then in real life, you guys know Uncle Chris passed away in 2021 for COVID. MVE was 2018. Well, it started end of 2017, went into 2018, but anyways, and in real life, he died of COVID. And weirdly enough, his boss is the one that gave him COVID that killed him. And not just that, but the company he worked for was called Red Oak. But then, you know, like 4 years prior in MVE, he died from his boss in MVE against a red oak tree. I mean, that's weird. Could that be, again, coincidence? I don't know. So that's, I know a lot of people don't believe in coincidences. Do I? I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of in the middle. I feel like sometimes there could be coincidences. Coincidences. That's such a weird word to say. But I feel like sometimes there's not. So I don't know. I feel like I said, I'm in the middle with that. Then he had a dream his 9th grade history teacher, Mr. Harris, had cancer, and he'd end up having cancer. But, you know, in Jesse's dream, also too, in this dream he had he was holding a graphic novel. Cause like he was holding books, because in the dream he was in school. So like when they were showing a flashback of his dream, he had books, and one of the books was a graphic novel. It's a little Easter egg for you. But it just showed like the back of the teacher, and he was saying my wife, and then his wife ended up dying of cancer, and then years after that, Mr. Harris ended up dying of cancer, which is sad. But, you know, think about that being like 15 years old, you know, having these dreams. Like, it's scary. You know, then show Jesse again, sitting in a chair doing this interview. Jenny jumps up on his lap, and like Jenny's face changed for like a few seconds into the man's face from the dreams. You know, the man in the suit, we'll call him. So like that was freaky, but I think that was another cool thing added in. You know, like having the man just appear in random places throughout the film, you know, behind people who are doing interviews. I don't know, I just think that's really cool, in my opinion. But and then, you know, another one of Jesse's dreams, he dreamt of the Larry's numbers, but he was having trouble seeing them. You know, and they were kind of blurry and stuff. But then he woke up, he was able to write them down. 5 numbers he wrote down. He got 3 of them right, and he said the other 2 were just off by a digit. So again, weird. But I also heard that happening, like, I've heard stories with Ouija boards, you know, people asking a Ouija board for, like, the lottery numbers, and then they go to play them and it ends up being a digit off. So, again, that's freaky. I believe it. And then, another dream Jesse had, an asteroid hit the ground, you know, leaving a crater, and there was a game console in it. And then not long after that dream, a new console released, and it was the same one from his dream, and there was something to go over there, like Titans flying in the sky, or something, like asteroids. So, like, that was kind of weird. Jesse would dream about, like, a random video game console, and then it comes out not long after. I don't know. I believe it, and, like, I believe this. I know a lot of people are probably, you know, not going to believe this type of thing, but, like, watch the movie. Look at Jesse's reactions and emotion. Like, he has so much emotion in it. I know people say that's acting, but I feel like sometimes you can't act, you know, that kind of emotion. Like, you know what I mean? You can't act out that kind of emotion at times. You know what I mean? I don't know. To me, Jesse, to me, just came off genuine throughout the whole movie. Like, I noticed people would be skeptical of it, and that's 100% fine, to each their own. But I 100% believe Jesse. You know, like, why would we go through all this trouble to lie? You know what I mean? Especially, like, how he was getting emotional, like, dreaming about people's deaths and stuff and getting sick, who do end up getting sick. Why would he do that? For what? What does he gain to, you know, profit off people's pain and suffering? You know what I mean? I don't know. Then, to another one, he was walking Ella, and, like, Ella stopped and, like, was walking ahead of him a little bit, then stopped and sat down and stared at him. And then Jesse got this feeling that would be like the last time he'd see Ella, and then not long after that, again, Ella gets diagnosed with cancer, and we all know she ends up passing. Rest in peace, Ella. And also rest in peace, Uncle Chris. And then, too, he's sitting in the living room in his house, and he sees this man and woman, like, walking towards the front door. He gets up to go stop them, and he asks the man, "Do I know you?" And then he goes, "Omar." And then the man just laughs, and both him and the woman walk out. Then again, you know, same type of thing happens. He goes to watch Netflix with Ashley, and he goes to watch this thing about cryptocurrency, and the man in it is none other than the man from his dream, Omar. And he says, too, when he's talking about this dream, he does not know this guy, like, he does not know Omar in real life. So that was really weird to me when he said that, because not, like, even knowing this man, you know, it's like someone he's never seen before, doesn't even know anyone by that name in his real life. You know, I know they say you can't dream about people you don't know, but I don't know if I believe that. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, I feel like I've dreamt about people who I've never seen before. Like, are you going to say, like, you can just dream about people who you pass walking in the store on the street? I don't know. Like, it's just weird to me. And, like, I don't know if I believe that. I know that's what they say, but how can they truly know to be real, you know? Like, is there any way to truly know if you can dream about people who you never seen before? I don't know. To me, I just feel like there's no way to prove that as fact or fiction or what. But what do you guys think? You guys think you could dream about people you never seen before? Don't know. You know, and like, what else? You know, and Jesse, you know, started getting like upset again because he's like, he doesn't know like how to tell this story because he knows people would think like he's crazy or that like it's pretty much, you know, not real, and he doesn't want people to think that because, you know, he's done all these series in the past and scripted stuff. So like, I can understand his concern for that, you know, because of that. But like I said, I believe Jesse. He came off like 100% genuine, like especially his emotions. I don't know. And then Jeffrey and Jesse, you know, had a bit of like a disagreement, an argument. It wasn't really an argument. They weren't yelling, but it was disagreement that if Jesse could see the future or not. And I wonder, like, was that real or was that kind of part of the movie and scripted, you know? Because I feel like a lot of it was like raw moments, you know, not necessarily scripted, which I kind of like, you know? It's nice to have those real moments in there. So it makes it feel more real and more human instead of just like, you know, scripted and robotic, if that makes sense. But I don't know, that just got me thinking, was that kind of real or was that just part of the script? And like with Jeffrey not believing, does Jeffrey really not believe, or was that just part of the script as well? Who knows? But I do hope we get BTS. I would love to see some BTS. You know, and then, you know, he interviewed a bunch of other people who have predicted the future too. Paul was one of them, Paul Trout. You know, a lot of people discussed like how they had this dream, then it came true in real life, which is weird. Again, I'm not gonna, you know, like say every bunch of little things. You guys go watch the movie for yourself. You know, there's just like some things I want to talk about because I thought they were so crazy and stuff. So, you know, get through that, and then Jesse goes to Michael's house, and this is where I feel like things really started to get interesting with Michael. Because if you don't watch Michael, I mean, I don't watch him anymore, aka Kid Behind the Camera. I used to watch him, like his old videos, and I do still watch him from time to time, but he did a video where he showed these notebooks he had. And in these notebooks, he had like Eminem CD covers he would like write down, like write songs out to. Now, keep on, these are CDs that were not out already. These were like ones he came up with in his head. You know, other like predictions too. And the thing with the CDs and stuff like Recovery, for example, he predicted like the cover for the CD was him. You know, if you see the cover for Recovery, kind of a tongue twister right there. It's like Eminem walking down the road, and that's pretty much what Michael drew in his notebook. And then he like wrote out the songs that was gonna be in there, and like Going Through Changes, I believe, or Gone Through Changes, but that's what Michael wrote. But then the actual song is Going Through Changes. Like he got some of them right on the spot or just about close, and he did that with Revival too, which is the Eminem one. They had the song like River Under from Ed Sheeran. It's one of his more recent ones. Apparently came out in 2017, which is crazy. I didn't realize it was that old. But and I was mentioning in Michael's videos, you guys can like look up Kid Behind Camera notebooks or notebooks predicting the future, whatever. He predicted like people's deaths too, like Bridget's, what was it, aunt I think, or grandma, one of them. But you know, and then you know it's like Jesse looking through the notebooks and talking to Michael about it, and like Michael like predicted COVID-19, and he predicted that AGP was sick and all that, and like predicted he was gonna die. Like you guys have to watch it to like actually hear everything. This is kind of like cliff notes. And then Michael wrote down what he says a movie idea, but Jesse tries to kill himself after his wife gets cancer or dies from cancer. And if obviously you guys know, Jesse and Ashley just got married. And apparently, too, that's when Jesse said, too, when he was looking at that. Because that was, like, I guess, the first time Jesse's seen that. And apparently, he said that he's seen visions of Ashley bald from cancer. So that, when I heard that, guys, I'm not going to lie, that made me get a pit in my stomach. You know what I mean? Like, I swear to God, like, a pit in my stomach. Because that's concerning to me. Then, you know, Mike was in denial about it. You know, and, like, I think, too, because he was in denial because he said, like, if he could have, you know, stopped his dad's death, he don't know how he'd be able to live with himself, which that's something I feel like he should not, like, worry about. You know, because stuff happens. Like, AGP was sick. I mean, even if he would have caught, like, his cirrhosis and stuff earlier, there's no way of knowing if that would have, you know, saved him if he would have still been alive if it was caught early. Like, possibly, sure. Or maybe, like, he would have been alive a little bit longer, but he probably still would have ultimately passed away at the end, if you think about it. So, I don't know. you know, I can understand why Mike's in denial. Like, he's always been in denial about this type of stuff. I remember when, like, the video of him showing the notebooks on his YouTube channel, Bridger would call him a psychic, and he would be like, I'm not a psychic. I mean, I feel like, you know, a psychic and seeing, like, premonitions in your dreams or whatever, kind of different things. The psychics are more like, yes, they can see the future, but, like, they also communicate with spirits through that. So I feel like it's somewhat different, but I don't know. So that was all going on about the notebooks, which I found interesting, because obviously he talked about the CDs, but obviously, you know, like, there's some other stuff in notebooks that Michael never talked about in his videos before. So watch the movie, guys, so you guys can hear all the details about that stuff, the notebooks. And then Jesse goes to see Eric Wargo, I think that's how you say his name, who studies this kind of thing, wrote 2 books. One of them is Rough Loops. I forgot what the other one's called. Sure, wrote them down. You know, and like interviewing him and stuff, because he, I guess, studies this type of thing. And then Jesse was saying to Eric that he feels like the man he sees in his dream is going to be the last person he sees in his life. Which, again, that's a scary thing, you know, to think. Could that be true? Who knows? Because, I mean, Jesse doesn't know this man. Obviously, like, I mean, he didn't say you know the man, but, you know, I feel like if he knew who this guy was, he would have said, but he just refers to him as the man in the suit. You know, it's like some things, like hearing some of these things is a bit unnerving, like just watching the movie and hear some of the stuff Jesse was saying. And then, you know, he's with Eric for a while. They talk about, like, this stuff, and you guys, again, watch the movie, you want to hear about it if you're interested. Which, it was interesting, not gonna lie. Then he goes to his research facility, and Michael shows up. You know, and they do this experiment where they put this, like, VR helmet type on, and it has this other, like, stuff on it that, I guess, detects things in your brain. I don't know, it was kind of confused. I didn't fully understand it. It's basically a simulation of a car crash, and I guess it's to see, like, if you can predict when the crash is going to happen, something like that. Again, I kind of didn't fully understand it, so you guys can watch the movie. You know, and you guys can understand. You know, and he was sitting with one of the scientist guys from this facility, and he was saying how he had a dream / like vision of Mike dying from a heart attack next year, meaning 2026. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe next year was this year, because of when the movie was filmed. Because the movie was filmed in 2024. So was Jesse referring to as in next year, as in 2025 or 2026? I didn't even think about that. When I first thought 2026, when I was thinking about it, because when this movie was filmed back in 2024, or even 2022. No, it was filmed like 2024. Well, I don't know. I think it was filmed 2023 and 2024. Again, I don't know though, but because I don't know when every single part of the movie was filmed. It was filmed over the course of months and stuff. So, you know, and like Jesse started to get emotional talking about that, and like I do worry about Michael's health. You know, I know a lot of people have their issues with Michael because he clickbaits, but that doesn't mean he deserves to die. And I know people won't want him to die. You know, and he has 2 kids who needs him, so he should be looking after his health a bit more. You know, and then, like, going back previously in the film, they were interviewing his mom, and his mom had a dream that she saw a death certificate on the car on a bridge in the 2020s. You know, and Jesse was really afraid about that because we are in the 2020s now. I don't know, like, when she had this dream, because she didn't say when it was, but so that's freaking. She didn't know who the death certificate was, but that is pretty freaky, on a car on the bridge and seeing a death certificate. But, you know, and, you know, Jesse, again, gets emotional because he doesn't want these experiences anymore. You know, he doesn't want this stuff to happen and seeing this stuff, which, again, I don't blame him. I would feel the same way. Because I feel like, you know, you're seeing someone die or seeing something bad that's going to happen, then you're going to be paranoid and have all this anxiety. And why? You know, for what? And I just felt so bad for Jesse having to, like, deal with this type of stuff, because I can't imagine, like, I already have bad anxiety, so, like, if you to add, like, this on top of that, oh, I'm done. You know. Then it cuts to, like, this, Jesse's in the black room, he's hooked up to these machines, like, this, like, breathing mask over his face and nose, and he's hooked up to, like, these monitors. And it shows Jesse in this black room, you know, like, if he's dreaming. And, like, he sees 3 people who has passed away who he knows. And one of the people that passed away was played by his Aunt Jackie. When I saw Aunt Jackie, I cried. I'm not gonna lie, because it's just sad knowing she passed away and knowing she never got to see this movie because she passed away before it was complete. You know, but, and it clicked in my head too. Oh, and before we get into it, then, you know, he's seen outside people, and then he gets pulled away by the man in the suit. But what clicked in my head is that Aunt Jackie in the movie, right, she played someone who passed away in real life. Like someone Jesse knew who passed away in real life. I'm not going to give it away too much again, because I want you guys to watch the movie, so I don't want to give away, like, way too much of it. Just kind of, again, cliff notes, like, details, guys. I'm not giving away too many details, but, and it's crazy, she played someone in the movie who passed away, and then, like, a year or so later, she ends up passing away in real life. Could that be something? I don't know, but it's something interesting to talk about since you're on the topic, in a sense. You know. So then that happens, and then he's interviewing with Joan, and Joan is, oh yeah, did I skip that part about Joan? Because basically Jesse had a dream about Joan. Joan was the woman he worked at the plumbing shop with. You guys probably remember that if you watch KCoStreams, because he did a psycho video in the plumbing shop. But when he worked at the plumbing shop, he worked with this lady named Joan, and he had a dream about Joan, that, like, she was going to get hit by a red semi-truck. And he ended up warning her about that, so she ends up surviving, because she ends up seeing a semi-truck, but she swerves out the way before it can hit her, which is, again, crazy to me. So then later on in the movie, we see an interview with Jesse, or with Joan, I mean, that he does with Joan, that Jesse does with Joan. And Joan says apparently Joe's dad, Joe Barker, the barber, that had the father had the heart attack, that he survived the heart attack but ended up dying of COVID years later, which was crazy. And like, Jesse didn't know about it, so, like, that kind of was crazy to find out. But then it cuts to him interviewing one of his old friends from high school, named Evan. Now, Evan and Senior got into, like, this bad car accident. He was T-boned. He had to have, like, both sides of, like, his skull removed so his brain could swell so it can heal. And he was in the hospital for a while. Apparently. And then Jesse, for the first time, is telling Evan about that Jesse had this dream about Evan. They were in gym class, and a light fixture fell on top of Evan and crushed him, and, like, his legs were flailing. And Jesse said, like, he thought Evan was paralyzed. And then I guess not long after that, the car accident happened. You know, and, like, he kind of regrets not telling Evan, because what if it could have helped Evan, which it was two different things. You know, Evan got into a car accident. This was, like, something falling on him in the dreams. I mean, I don't really see too much of the correlation. I mean, yeah, it was both, like, an accident, kind of a severe accident, I guess, but different types of accidents, if that makes sense. No, then he was going to interview Joe Barker, but the day he was supposed to interview Joe, that's the day when he blacked out from COVID. I'm sure if you guys watch his videos, you remember that he got COVID, like, twice during the movie, and he blacked out bad, and actually found out on the bathroom floor. It was just, and he got COVID, actually, from Michael at the lab, when they were at the lab together. And I guess, too, before all that happened, he had a dream that Michael was going to have COVID. And then what ends up happening, Michael has COVID and ends up giving it to Jesse, and Jesse gets really sick. And now, because of that, Jesse has, you know, health issues from COVID. He had the H. pylori, or whatever it's called. H. pylori. So it's just crazy. And then there's a montage that happened, which I really enjoyed. I'm not going to really say much about that. Again, go watch. I kind of wish they put that at the end of the movie, though, to be honest. I mean, it was kind of towards the end, probably like the last half an hour-ish or so of the movie, but still, I think it would have been better at the end, in my opinion. And then, you know, he was trying to get Joe Barker for the interview, but he didn't want to do it. You know. So that was that, and then Jesse goes to this retreat place. He was talking to the guy there. They had, you know, an interesting conversation. And then last thing I'm going to say is, oh, that was the last thing. Never mind. But yeah, this retreat place, you know, kind of do meditation or whatever, and it was interesting. Again, I don't want to say too much because I do want you guys to go watch the movie, but I did want to talk about certain things. Overall, like I said, I thought the movie was good. These dreams were good. There were some other dreams too I didn't include here in the movie. He talked about prediction dreams, you know, because I want you guys to go watch it. You know, because I thought the movie was good, and I think it's worth the watch. But I do think maybe Jesse should look into, like, hypnosis, because that can be interesting. Can help him figure out who this man is he sees in his dreams. Again, I don't know if, like, till this day, he still sees the man. It seems like it from how he talked in the movie. And stuff. You know, and also like a psychic. I know not everyone believes in psychic, but if this man he sees as like something paranormal, you know, then the psychic could help. I'm just saying, I think probably better off with hypnosis. I feel like he can get more info from hypnosis than anything, but to each their own. Not everyone believes in that stuff, but I think hypnosis is interesting because it gets into your subconscious and it goes into deep into your mind to unlock things. So I'm just saying, I think it could be interesting for Jesse to try that because I think he could get answers from that. Another thing too I wanted to mention, like, dreams are weird because I feel like we don't really know much about dreams. You don't know why we dream or where dreams come from. You know what I mean? Like, what, you know what I mean? Or how they work exactly, which I feel like that also kind of gives it another like creepy level to it because we don't really know much about dreams, you know? And like, and people having dreams about predicting people's deaths and stuff. Like it was, you know, in the movie talk about people who, you know, had dreams that 9/11 was going to happen. It ends up happening, you know what I mean? Like, or like there was just one person talked about in the movie, I guess he had a dream about the plane crashing in the Hudson River and it ends up crashing in the Hudson River. That was a big story on the news years ago. You know, so I do believe that people could dream the future. Or maybe not the future, but premonitions of like what's going to happen. But I also believe it's always not going to happen the way we dream it to be. You know, but I think we have to keep in mind too. I'm sure there's plenty of dreams Jesse has that hasn't come true, right? Let's be real here. So I think you have to take that too. Like, not every single thing is going to come true. You know, I mean, could it come true in the future, years down the road? Because some of these, like the one with the teacher that he dreamt about, the teacher having cancer and his wife having cancer, like that, you know, he had that dream, but then it ends up happening years down the road. So, like, who knows? But, you know, and also I kind of liked something Mike said. He made a good point. Like, Mike says he doesn't, like, have these premonitions anymore because he shut it off. No, which I think that's not necessarily a bad thing to do. Maybe that's something Jesse should do, is learn to shut it off. Because why would you want to live in that paranoia all the time? Why do you want to live in that constant fear and, like, worry and anxiety of having these dreams and something going to happen? Then, like, you have to go through your day-to-day life. Like, is it going to happen today? Is it going to happen tomorrow? Like, why live like that? So, I don't know. Now, I know Jesse wants answers, but I feel like this is something we probably would never have answers on. I mean, never say never, but I mean, look at, we're in 25, you still don't even know why we dream or how dreams work. You know, I feel like that's something we need to figure out first before anything else, you know, of like where dreams come from, how they work, you know. But anyways, overall, again, 10 out of 10 for the movie. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the movie if you watched it already. And if you're going to watch it, I hope you guys do enjoy it. Again, recommend the movie to your friends and family, people you know. It's a great movie. Again, I watched it on Apple TV. It's on Venmo, on demand, and it's on Google Play too as well. So, yeah. Love you, Jesse. Great job on the movie, man. I really enjoyed it. It was really mind-blowing. Like, and also too, guys, watch all the credits all the way through. I will say that. And two, I forgot to mention, when they showed Aunt Jackie in the movie, I did cry. So I was going, Aunt Jackie, you know, because she passed away. But it's a great movie. You know, it's emotional. Not gonna lie, even though I only really cried at like 1 or 2 parts, but still a great movie. I still recommend it, Jesse. I can't wait to see what you have planned in the future, buddy. I hope you continue to improve with your health, like especially your knee and stuff. And good luck to you and Ashley with your future. You know, I can't wait to see what the future holds for you too. Hope things go well for you too in your marriage. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I know this is a long one, but it was a long movie, and I just wanted to make sure I get everything out I wanted to say about it, because I really loved it. 5-star review. But yeah, again, love you, Jesse. Congrats on the movie. I'm so proud of you, man. You've come so far. Been watching since 2017, and like, to see how far you came and how much you've grown in all these years. You know, and I know, like, throughout these years, it's been ups and downs and struggles, but you managed to, you know, push through it all, man. You persevered through all the tough times, and you're a real inspiration to many people. And I hope you continue doing what you're doing, making more series and YouTube videos and movies, you know, because you are talented and you do have a skill for this. So never stop, man. Never stop doing what you're doing. You inspire so many people, and so many people look up to you and have so much respect for you. So just remember that. And Ashley, thank you for making Jesse so happy and being a great partner to him. You know, he's taking care of him and he's not doing well. Appreciate you as well. I enjoy your content as well. And I want you to continue doing what you're doing as well. And to all Jesse's family too. You guys are all amazing. But I love you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please follow me on my socials. Follow everyone in my description. Guys, please subscribe to me. Please like and please comment. It's just crazy because I remember when Jesse first made a video that he's announcing he was making a movie and just showing us like the script in his hand, and now the movie is already out. It's just mind-blowing how fast time flies, you know? Like same with MV, like I remember when MV first came out and then before I knew it was ending, and now it's been like 6 years or 7 years since it came out, you know? It's just mind-blowing, man. Like, it's mind-blowing, but love you, Jesse. I'm so proud to be a Juggy. I love the rest of you guys too. You guys are great. And I'll see you randomers in the next video. Peace. Okay, guys, real quick, I just wanted to show you guys Jesse liked my tweet. As you can see in the top there, if I click on it. So I'm saying, just finished watching your movie and it was amazing. You and everyone involved did a fantastic job. So I just thought that's cool. Jesse liked my tweet. Yeah, just want to share it with you guys. Anyways, love you guys. And I'll see you guys later.